Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Two Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Two Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. Two easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview.
No worries.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Two Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got actress Millan Tesfazgi.
Yep, I am here.
How'd I do? Was that okay?
That was perfect. You got it. You fully
Right.
got it.
Well, I think it's a very Hollywood sounding name.
Thank you.
Like that's the name you want to see up on a billboard.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll take it. I'll take it.
What's the history of the name? What's your background?
So my background, I'm East African. I'm Ethiopian. And it's funny, I asked my mom, I was like, why Milan?
Yeah,
And
that's a
it's so
pretty name though.
I love that she named me that name, but I thought there was gonna be this huge story behind it. And she kind of looked at me and she was like, I like the name. And she kind of made up her own definition to Milan. She's like, I thought Milan. And then for some reason, Milan to me made me think you're worth more than a million to me.
Oh, I love
So
that.
she kind of made a little, definition there and meaning. And she decided to throw an extra L in there. And I said, why the extra L? She said, LL Cool J. Why not? I was like, okay.
I think I like your mom.
And she was like, that's the story. I was like, amazing. Cool. Okay. Thank you, mom. And here we are.
I was in college in the late 80s, early 90s, and LL Cool J was a monster at that time. He was so big back then.
LL Cool J. I mean, hey,
He's still pretty good.
yeah, no, he is. He is. I mean, he's been in it for a long time.
Yeah, he's been at it for a little while. So let's start this way. Tell me a little bit about what got you into acting because that's a difficult profession. Why do you want to be an actress?
Kind of started when I was young. So I was born and raised in Alberta, Edmonton, which is
Yeah,
the prairies of Canada.
that's a good way to say it. I think it's the prayer.
Right? It's the
Yeah.
prairies of Canada. And growing up, I've always been very creative, always wanted to perform. I would, at family gatherings, force everyone into the living room every single time. And I would put on a performance. And they all knew what was coming every single time. They're like, okay, here comes Milan. We got to, everyone quiet. Get done
Well,
with.
so did you force other family members to also perform, or was it just you?
Yes, absolutely. I was
Okay.
like, yeah, I need you to say this line. And then they're like, are we watching? Are we involved? And it was always, and I kept them on their toes. Every
Okay.
family gathering, my mom was like, just do it, not in the middle of dinner, maybe after dinner.
After
Or
dinner, that's right.
I, for some reason, my timing was impeccable. I would do it during dinner. I would be
Of course
sitting
you
there and go, we should do something right now. And everyone's like, here we go. So it kind of started off just as it just has always been within me to want to perform and be creative. And
would.
as I got older, when I was in school, I would just attend drama classes and theater and anything I can do to incorporate myself within the industry. And as I got older, I realized it wasn't just something that I looked at as a hobby. It was
Right.
something I loved. It was a passion. So I made the choice to move to Vancouver in my early 20s. And as much as I love what I do, I was very new to the industry at the time. I had
Yeah,
no idea what I was doing.
of
And it was
course.
very like one step as at a time as you go. And I remember just going into the audition rooms and I wear contacts, but at the time I didn't. So I'd take off my glasses. I don't know what made me think this was a smart move. And I couldn't see nothing. Like Nothing. They would be like on Milan over here. I'm like, oopsies. Hi, yeah, what's
I
up?
get
And
that. If I don't have my contacts in, I'm blind.
oh
Face.
my,
It's just a like a mix of collars. That's all I see.
you know what I call it? The blind confidence, because you can't see nobody's face. So you're not nervous at all. It became a little superpower for me for a little bit
Okay.
until I realized, oh, you have to connect to the person you're reading to. You
That's right.
have to see them. So as time goes, I'm learning and learning and growing. And after 3 years of auditioning nonstop, I got my first major break, I would say, on Siren. And that kind of was the domino effect in.
Love Siren. We've had several of that cast on the show. I saw that you did a podcast with Curtis.
Yes, Kurt.
I
This is
watched some of that. It's been several years ago, but Curtis was he was terrific. And who's the Alex? Alex is the lead on Siren. Yeah, we've had Alex on.
great. He's great. They're all, it's such an amazing cast and crew. And I had an opportunity to work with them for 2 years, which was
Yeah.
wonderful. And I was able to be such a sponge in those 2 years and learn so much from everyone. So definitely grateful for that experience.
Were you spending a lot of time in the water?
You know what? Some days we did, like we would do like
Yeah.
12-hour days in the water. And honestly, it like brings back your childhood nostalgicness because I was like, oh, we're going in the pool and it was warm, 15 feet tank. And I was like jumping into the water. I was so excited. I was like, okay, Milan, calm down. I know you like swimming, but it was so fun. And we had amazing, amazing stunt coordinators there and like people
Well,
guiding.
for your first big role, you did a really good job on that because you were on a bunch of those episodes.
It was the cool thing about the role of Cammy was I had to do a lot of research on primal instincts and animalistic instincts because they are mermaids that come onto land and
Right.
understanding, okay, how do you bring the physicality, the emotionality, and the primal instincts all together and make it believable? So I think that whole process was so incredible. And I had such great cast members that I was able to collaborate with. And
Yeah.
it was definitely a really complex, fun role for sure.
Yeah, it was a fun show. And it was on for several seasons.
Yeah, no, they did 3 amazing seasons,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was fun.
I know. Well, Tiffany Lonsdale, was she on there?
Yes, yes, Tiffany
Yeah.
was on
She's been
there.
on the
Yeah,
show
she
too.
came in with a big bang. I loved it. Her character
Yeah.
was awesome.
Well, that's pretty good. Yeah, I knew you immediately. You know, when you were sent to me, I saw the picture and I was like, Sirens. I knew.
Like, wait a minute, I recognize her. The blue contacts. Wait a minute.
That's
Funny.
pretty good. Well, and I remember you from Supergirl because you
Yeah.
were like you were the scared employee.
Yeah. So, and that was one of, and that's so funny because that was so early at the time in my career where it was fascinating because I booked Siren,
Yeah.
but I was still new to
Right.
the industry. So I was still booking all these other things as well on the side that maybe weren't at that same
At that
level.
level, right.
It was fascinating because when you're playing both at the same time, you kind of see the different tools that you can take from each.
Yeah.
And like I
I
remember
never thought of that, but that's true. If you're in more of a cast role as opposed to a guest star role, a little bit different skill sets or toolkits.
yeah. And it sometimes, depending on the role you have a little more room to be more observant or more present in a certain way versus the other way. So it just really depends on the level that you're at within the cast. And regardless, though, you're learning something. So
Right.
that's the beauty of it. As long as you're open to doing that, you walk away going, okay, I learned something about myself today and how you handle different circumstances and
Well, and
situations.
you've been on a show now, like as at least a semi-regular. That has to make it a little easier going forward because you can do it.
I think that's the biggest thing is once you do it, you walk away and you go, oh, it's like this light bulb that goes off and you're like, oh, wow, okay, that wasn't, okay, noted for next time. Like it's funny because every time you book a role, you're always like, there's this initial like, wait, can I do? And then you go on set and you do it and you're like, why do I do this every time? You act shocked every time. Like, am I able to? But that's the thrill of it, I think.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, even just at this level, at the podcast level, I've done this almost 900 times, if you can believe it. I get nervous every single time. I'm usually fine once I get on, but
I
just ahead
honestly
of
think
time.
that's why we do it though, right? I
Yeah.
think it keeps us on our toes. It's there's something really liberating when you do something and when you're like we're nervous to do it and then you did it, you walk away and you're
It
like,
does give you a little victory, a little pick me up.
that's, yeah, a pick me up. That's what I like that word. Pick me up. It gives you a good
Yeah.
pick me
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So, okay, so the new one
up. Yes.
is the Mary J. Blige's Family Affair. All
Yes.
right. And if I remember right, this is like part three, maybe.
You got it. So part one was Real Love. It was filmed in 2022. And then
Yeah.
Strength of a Woman was filmed in 2023. And now in 2025, we have Family Affair premiering.
They're so good. I talked to let's see, Princess Davis was in, yeah, and she was terrific. And that's why originally why we watched the first two,
Yes.
my wife and I, and absolutely loved them. It's such a well written, well done, and you can't beat the soundtrack either. That soundtrack's pretty good too.
Tell me about it. It's so good. It's so, so good. I
Yeah,
had to stop myself from singing a couple times in the middle. You start to hear
I
the
know.
music.
How can you not?
It's so catchy.
Yeah, it's so good. Tell me a little bit. What's this one about? What is Family Affair about?
So Family Affair, you obviously Real Love, Strength of a Woman. We see the evolution of Kendra. And she's at a point now where she's a successful
That's right.
photographer.
Yeah, so the first two, you're more of a little more of a supporting role.
Exactly. So
But
it's
this one, this is focused on Kendra.
exactly. And
Yeah.
nice to see the dynamic between my character Sasha and Kendra.
Yeah.
Sasha, her sister, and she witnesses her sister Kendra go through all these different tribulations through life. And then it's a time jump for from Real Love and Strength of a Woman. So
Oh,
we're all
okay.
older and Kendra and Ben reconnect. And by reconnect, we'll see how much they reconnect. But I think that the audience members are really going to enjoy it because every single character's journey on there has evolved and we all have different challenges that we face and need to overcome.
Right.
And I think people will be able to relate to so many different things. And I think the audience is really going to go on an emotional ride, a good one. And with
Well, that's
Sasha,
been the great part about these movies is that it really does take you on a journey. You know, you
it's
get
not,
done and you feel pretty good, but you're a little tired too.
oh, oh, absolutely, because you're invested. And I think that's the thing. It's nice that we had these years actually to work on these because it's like you had 2022 and all of us were
Yeah.
younger and we've grown up with it a bit now. And
Oh, that's true.
like
A couple years can make a big difference in
makes a big
appearances and everything.
absolutely. And even my character Sasha, she initially she's like this fun go-getter young mom in real love. She's super compassionate and she loves her family and friends. She's super loyal. But as time goes on, you get to see the complexities of Sasha. She's actually very deep and grounded and she's very intelligent and she handles situations in a way maybe where people may not understand at first, but looking back after, you're like, oh no, that makes sense. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
great for people to see where she's at now and her daughter's older, she's older
Was
and
it was it was it more difficult playing more of a front forward role, say, as opposed to more of a supporting role, or did just the fact that you're in the other two kind of make this one not so bad?
I think the comfortability after doing the first two movies, we all have such great connections on set.
Yeah.
And it's such a safe environment that it allows you to be super creative and you don't hold back. And so I think if anything, it was just you kind of show up prepared and you're ready to go because you know the history of your character, you know the people you're working with, and it just allowed you to really focus on the aspect of the art. There was no
It has to be a nice feeling to go into something knowing I know I can do it. I've been playing this character.
absolutely, it's the best feeling because you know yourself what this character would do because
Yeah.
of the history that you've had with it. So it's going to be fun for everyone to take a look and see where everyone is at with this time jump.
Yeah.
And
It's almost I mean it's three movies, but it
yeah, it
plays almost like a TV series.
does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I before from others too. It definitely does. You want more and more and more. Even I want more. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What
But
happens
yeah,
after?
now that you finished the trilogy, yeah, let's just move on into a series with this group of characters.
Right? You're like, wait, what happens now? I know it just, and I think that's the beauty of all these from Real Love, Strength of a Woman, and Family Affairs. You consistently want to know more
Yeah.
about everyone's
Well,
journey.
and so Mary J's involvement is because they're based around her songs, right? It's like the shows are based on different songs of hers.
Correct. Yeah.
I thought, what a cool idea. I wonder who came up with that.
I know. I'm like, wait a minute. But no, it's awesome. And I mean, like Mary J, she's legendary. You say her name and everyone's like, I know who that is.
Did she come by set at all?
I didn't personally get to meet her, but
Oh,
even being attached to a project that involves her
pretty
is
cool.
incredible. It's an honor. And, I grew up listening to her. I
Yeah,
remember
she's an icon.
she's on, and I remember wearing gold earrings because Mary was wearing gold earrings. Like and I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, well, Mary's wearing them. And my mom's like, wait a minute, where are you going with the gold earrings? So it's funny because I look back and I have so many nostalgic memories
Yeah.
of like being like even like 10 years old and I'm listening to Real Love with my mom on the way to school or Be Without You, even though at the time I was never heartbroken before. When it came to love, I was 10 years old, but I'm belting it out like
I was gonna say you probably felt like you were
right. I'm like, I totally get it, Mary. Like, yes, but it's one of those it's timeless, the music.
Yeah.
And when you hear it, you feel like you're hearing it for the first time. So it's
It holds
cool that
up
they get
really well.
yes, so well, so well. It's
Yeah,
definitely
I still got some of her songs on my playlist. Come
right?
on, you start bouncing around. It's good stuff.
It's so true. You're like, why is my shoulder doing the
Yeah,
shimmy right now? What's going on here?
So this one comes out this weekend, right?
Saturday. Yep. And then Real Love and Strength of a Woman will be
Yeah, you
appearing.
can watch the whole thing. You can binge it all.
You can binge it all, make it a movie night because it will be lovely for anyone who hasn't seen Real Love and Strength of a Woman to follow the story. So when Family Affair appears as the third part, they're caught up with everything and the storylines of all the characters.
Yeah, I'm guessing you could watch them stand alone and still be okay, but it definitely adds something knowing the characters from all three.
Absolutely. And like I was saying this to someone the other day, it's if you watch the third movie, you'll still understand the characters because everyone is committed and deep rooted within who they're playing that they convey it like it's the first time each time. It's amazing. So I think that people will really, really enjoy Family
And
Affair.
it's Lifetime, right?
Lifetime, correct.
Yeah. Lifetime has carved out quite the niche for themselves.
A lot of great stuff coming out.
They do some really good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, not just movies, but they do some good shows too. But the movies is probably what they're more known for because at some point in the last 10, 20 years, we kind of got away from the happy ending type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And Lifetime, along with Hallmark and some of them, they've given us some of that back. Not everything ends happy, but some of it does, and it's kind of nice.
Nice. You can have a movie night with your family and watch just good movies. It's nice because it's an event that can bring people together as well.
There's not a lot. Like when I was growing up, it was in the 80s. I was a teenager in the 80s, and it seemed like every week there was a movie that came out that you could watch with family. You could watch with your parents and not be embarrassed or nervous or anything like that. And it seems like we're kind of getting back to that a little bit. And we need some of that. We need those.
It's a balance.
Like we've got the kid movies.
Yeah.
But we need those, say early teenage years that also parents would enjoy. We don't have enough of those, I don't think.
Parents can relate to it because y'all were once teenagers too. So
That's it.
And everyone, it's a universal shared experience, right? So I think it's nice because regardless, everyone can go on that journey together and enjoy it, and you're with your family, and
that's it.
It's amazing.
How has your family taken now that you're established as an actress? How have they taken to you acting?
They're just super supportive. I think they're like, okay, all those family gatherings are paying off. No, I'm kidding.
When you come back now, do they still expect you to perform, halfway through dinner?
You know, it's funny. They make jokes. They're like, someone always has to say something. They're always like, okay, Milan, we're almost done dinner. So what
Yeah.
do I got to do?
Yeah.
What's
What
my
are we doing?
what are we doing? What song are we playing in the background? Do I have to drop a tear today? It's like, it's the funniest thing. And my friends have joined in on it as well
Oh, I
because
love that.
like home videos, I think VHS or the little
Oh,
like,
yeah. Yeah.
my mom had one of those and some of those home videos, I was like, oh my gosh, Milan, you would not give up. Like I would just be like, mom, come here. You're in this show, okay? Come on.
Well, it paid off.
Hey, right. But yeah, no, they're so supportive and it's been a journey. It's always gonna be a journey. Life is a
Yes.
journey. I think the best thing is just gratitude. I just have a lot of gratitude to do what I love and my passion and share that with others.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty great. I had, when I was growing up, I had a lot of cousins and we spent a lot of time together, family gatherings, and they would always, I was so shy as a kid, and they would always want to perform in front
yeah,
of the other adults. And I just couldn't do it. I could not say anything. So I was always like a tree or, a camel, something that didn't have to do anything but stand there.
I'll be the palm tree over here,
That's
guys.
it. And that still made me a nervous wreck. But I always admired them for being
Mhm.
able to do it. They loved it. The rest of the family loved it. I was miserable.
Like me, on the other hand, different story.
Yeah. This, introvert, not my thing, which is why it's so hilarious that I'm spending all my time on podcasts now. But
Isn't it amazing though how it works
it
out?
all works out that way. I know
Exactly.
my cousins, they think it's the funniest thing because I
I
was so shy. They could never get me to do anything. And then here I am talking, all the time.
And you're great at it. So, and it's like the turnaround. You're like, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't have been the
That's
tree.
what I told him. I was like, well, I told you should have given me lines. They're like, no, you did not.
Like actually you told us the opposite.
Yeah. I was like, please don't give me lines.
You're like,
I
oh,
think the only line I ever remember saying, and we were always, my grandfather Baptist minister, so we were always doing the religious stuff. The only line I ever remember saying was, "Behold." That was it.
hey, that's complex right there. There's many layers to behold.
That's
Right?
it.
So you
That's
gotta
it.
tell.
I was like, hey.
So you
And
can
I'm
tell.
sure I still probably screwed it up. It's hard to tell what I said.
Hey, one-liners, I will say, one-liners are probably harder than doing a monologue, in my
They
opinion.
are.
They really are. I remember when I first moved to Vancouver, I had an audition and the line was, "Hey, Sarah." That was it. I'm sitting in the waiting room and I'm nervous. I'm like, why am I nervous to say, "Hey, Sarah"? And it was just like the funniest thing. I go in, they're like, "Whenever you're ready," and I go, "Hey, 1 second," and I do a quick turnaround. I'm like, I did not just mess up saying, "Hey, Sarah," and
Yeah.
I did it again, and I just went, "Hey, Sarah," and they're like, "Okay, bye," and you're like, what was that? At one point, it was like, okay, and
Well,
then you
you
get.
get in your head a little bit. And you're like trying different ways to say it, and it ends up not being natural.
That's the thing. Yeah. And I think with monologues, or not just monologues, but like anything with more dialogue, it gives you room to show yourself more and get
Yes.
comfortable and really dive into it. Whereas when it's something really short, sometimes those ones, even though they seem easier on paper, those ones tend to be a little harder at
Yeah.
times. Lack of words.
A little tricky.
Oh, yes, that's the word. A little tricky.
Is
It's one
there
of those, right?
is there a genre that you haven't got to do that you would like to do?
I would love to do surprising. Like I feel like I've been lately diving into so many different genres.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, like comedy and like Siren was like this dark, gritty,
It was kind of fantasy. Yeah.
fantasy, sci-fi. But I really do. I love action. I think action is
Oh
just
yeah.
feel like it's like how can you not have fun? And I
Are
love.
you are you athletic? Can you?
I feel like I love going to the gym. I'm big
Okay.
on fitness and health, and I love biking. That's one of my favorite things
Yeah.
to do. I always love biking the seawall and rain or sun. Sometimes
So
when it's
if you receive some fight training, you could handle it.
yeah, some couple roundhouse kicks, I can do it. Like high block, middle block, low block, like I just show me the moves. But yeah, anything to do with action, but drama. I love drama and I love space. Honestly, I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with space and space documentaries. So one of my favorite movies is Interstellar.
Oh, it's a
And
great movie.
it's every time I watch it, I act shocked every single time. And like my eighth time, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like, Milan, you knew this was going to happen.
That's
But
right.
for Nolan, I mean, directed by him, it's incredible. The actors convey their
He
character.
doesn't make a bad movie.
No, he's incredible.
I mean, he doesn't make a ton of movies, but they're all good.
They're all good. He's probably one of like if I had my dream list, he's on there because
Yeah.
he's just incredible at what he does. So yeah, I would love to do something in that world. That would be so fun.
Well, I've never had anybody say that, and it's surprising. Because why wouldn't you want to work with a director like that?
Because I find the way he's able to present and convey the stories and
Yeah.
allow these characters to come out, it's so beautifully done. And I can only imagine as an actor what it must be like to work with someone at that level and that great. You can only bring out greatness within yourself when you're around someone like that.
Yeah.
Because, I think that it's an energy exchange. Like you see someone really going for it, you're
Yeah.
really go for it. It's such
I
a
like
collab.
that. Yeah, you kind of feed off of it a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd
So
be pretty good. We just lost David Lynch, and I always thought he would be a great, like if I was an actor, he'd be one I would want to work with because he's so unique. And
exactly.
Nolan's kind of like that too. He's very. There's nobody like when you watch his movies, those are his movies.
Exactly. That's the beauty of it, the authenticity of who
Yeah,
they are. They allow that to shine. So
I
I
love
think,
that one. I wouldn't have expected you to say that. I was thinking maybe comedy. I mean,
okay, yeah.
the movies they've got a little bit in. There's a little humor in there. Uh,
Oh, yeah.
but yeah, I could see you doing like I could see you in a sitcom, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, hey, listen, I love comedy. I think comedy is incredible. It's its own piece of work. It's like
Comedy's hard.
every
Got
single
a
comedian.
rhythm to it, kind of like music.
Yeah, absolutely. And every comedian out there, I'm always like so much respect for because,
Yeah.
they go up there and they say their jokes, whether someone's laughing or not, they keep going. Like, and then to bring that into film and television and make that authentic every single time, like, because you're doing different takes and different angles and you have to convey it like the first time.
Yeah,
It
yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that because a lot of times you have to. It's not just saying it. There's a physical aspect to it.
absolutely. But yeah, comedies. It's always a treat when I get to do comedy. You kind
Yeah,
of go outside, you feel light, you're like, okay, let's have a good day. Like you're ready to have some giggles.
yeah. It would put you in a good mood, I think.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. I've had some characters where I was like, oh, this is fun. Where it's supposed to be dark, but they end up being the comedic relief. You're like, oh, this is amazing. Because it's like, it's a dark, gritty moment. And then boom,
Yep.
you arrive. And they're like, what is going
Yeah,
on?
what's happening?
But like, truly, it's so good.
So was was when you were filming Family Affair, or even any of the three, did did you have outtakes? Did they allow you to ad lib at all, or were they pretty strict with the script?
For the most part, they definitely gave us the freedom. If anything
Yeah,
came up in the moment, everyone was really open to collaborating, which I
yeah,
love. So if you had an idea or you're like, actually, can we say this instead of this only because of this reason?
right.
Like, actually, yeah, let's do that. And then they would add something and be like, oh, and throw this in there. So it was amazing because everyone just wanted to make it the best that we can
Yeah,
make it. And I think when you have people who are so open and receptive, it creates a great flow to allow creativity
yeah. I
to
think
come.
that's a great way to work. I know some people they have a little trouble, kind of letting go and letting anybody else have a voice, even if you didn't use it. They know,
Yeah,
like, this is the dialogue. You got to stick with the dialogue. And if I was an actor, I think I'd prefer having a little bit of freedom, even if you didn't end up using,
yes.
whatever I changed. Just having that would make me more comfortable, and I think the role would be better.
No, absolutely. I think when you're on set, especially when you're playing a character, in order to make it as authentic as possible, of course, you're always going to respect the writers and the story that
Right.
needs to be told. With that being said, I think that it's a creative space, and
Yeah.
usually people, as long as they're willing to collaborate, they allow that freedom in, because you end up getting some great gems out of it.
I'm
And it's,
sure. Yeah.
so, and sometimes those are the things that create the magic. And it's like, you wouldn't want to miss out on a moment like that
No,
with a
that's
film.
exactly right. I've got a friend that he's a writer. He acts, but he's a writer. And I met him because I during COVID, I
Yeah.
was looking for stuff to watch like everybody was, and I came across this show on Hulu called Quick Draw. And I was like, okay, it's a Western. I was like, I'll check it out. It was a comedy. Well, I thought it was new. It had come out, like 15 years before.
Oh, really?
So I'd sent the guy that created it, I sent him a note and I was like, hey, I'd like to have you on the podcast. And he responded and we kind of became friendly. But the reason I bring it up is because he wrote the outline, like he wrote the outline of a scene, but the entire show was just ad libbed. It was just
Wow.
it's improv. So he hired a bunch of improv type of actors, and then just and I was like, well, now I understand why there was only a few episodes a season, because it probably took forever to film
Yeah,
it.
totally. No, but that's incredible. Improvising, like that in itself is a skill.
It's a
And
skill.
yeah, because you got to keep the story going,
Yeah.
So it's like you
Was it
take
yes and you got
exactly. Don't say no. Do not say no. Improv 101, I remember. But
yeah.
people who do improv, I mean, I love improv. I think it's fun. And it's whenever I get to do that on set, I remember recently I was working on a show called School Spirits.
Oh
And
yeah.
um, I remember we got a
You
chance
like School Spirits. My wife and I watched that one. Yeah.
good. Um, they were like, yeah, improvise about meeting your friend. I said, okay. I don't know why I thought of the word cinnamon, but I went with it. I said, oh, one day I was in a coffee shop and this girl was going for cinnamon. And I was like, do you not know the health benefits? You should really put that in your coffee. And she didn't want the cinnamon. And it became a tangent about cinnamon, like 10 minutes. And I didn't realize, I thought it was just for the shot. I didn't know that the mic and the audio and everything was on. Everyone was like, why is everyone laughing? What's going on? And everyone goes, oh my gosh, the cinnamon thing. And I'm like, oh, the mic is on. You guys heard my health benefits about
What did
cinnamon.
they put any of that in the show?
I don't think so. But I mean, maybe, who knows? We'll see.
I got to
But
find out now.
right. No, I think School Spirits will be premiering very soon, but
Yeah, it's the new season, right?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But until then, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. I'll send you a note. If they keep a cinnamon line, I'll be sending you. I was like, I heard that. I know the story behind that one.
Health benefits of cinnamon. I got the whole list of it here now, Milan. Yeah, true.
Well, I tried that one out because I had watched her on Cobra Kai.
Yes.
And I liked her on there. I was like, okay, I'll check her out on the and School Spirit. It's a fun show.
Fun show. It's honestly, it's like, once again, it's so fun when you go on shows and you get to play. There's no limitation. So it was incredible.
Yeah, that would I'd much rather go on a set that was just fun and relaxed than go on a set where it's just, intense. Although I'm sure some of those turn out some really good product too.
It does. I mean, it's almost, you get to tap into so many different sides of yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's the cool part. And when you're able to convey stories that can possibly help others that have
Yeah.
went through something similar, and there's something, it may not, I don't know the word for it, but it's definitely something that you walk away from going, okay, I'm glad I did that. And I'm
Yeah.
glad I was able to get there, even within yourself. And that's part of storytelling. It's we go to places that maybe people run away from, and you take
Yeah,
that
that's a
side.
good point. Yeah. Yeah, you
Bring,
can't do that though. You're trying to tell the story, so you can't run away from it.
you got
You
to
got to
run
tell the
toward
story.
it, or
You
the
got to run
fear.
toward it.
Exactly, run fast.
Are you creative in other ways? Do you paint or do you sing or anything like that?
Oh, I wish I could sing. I mean, never say never. I'm more of a singing in the shower type of girl. And for some reason, in the singing roles, they want to find me. And I'm like, are you sure you want to hear me sing? Okay.
Well, yeah, you must not be too bad though if they're finding you. You must be okay.
So funny though, because anytime I know someone can sing in the scene, I go, sing louder, louder. I'm like, I'll sing with you, but I'm going to sing low. You sing loud. You have a beautiful voice. Let's do
Right.
this. So I feel like I'm more, I love being outdoors. I'm more,
Yeah.
when it comes to creativity, for me, creativity, I find it in nature. I find it through
Yeah.
health and fitness. And I, it almost it gives me fuel for film and television, surprisingly.
Yeah,
I
I
find
get that.
I go on a bike ride if I'm prepping for a character, or sometimes I'll go bike the seawall, and the music and nature, everything is,
Biking is really good because it gives you that kind of alone time. You're getting
yes.
exercise, but you kind of, it's you can listen to stuff. When I work out, I normally listen to something sports wise, or maybe I may be listening to me. But you can also just kind of be alone with your thoughts, which is not a terrible thing to have.
No, it's important sometimes, and it
Yeah.
regrounds you. And I like anytime I just need to ground myself, they always say touch grass, just put your
Yeah.
in soil. And it's so true. Something as simple as that can really reground you. And life in itself, as cheesy as it might sound, it's so beautiful. And, being alive is such a beautiful privilege.
Well, if you're not going to enjoy it, what's the point?
And I always say the best thing is with acting is life experiences. So
Yeah.
important to have that balance of actually living your life and gaining those memories, because it just adds more tools into the box for characters. The more experiences you have, the more you're able to convey honest stories. So I love traveling. I love, love, love traveling. I have a lot of traveling still to do, but even just from what I've seen, it just opens your palette in general with
Yes.
everything. That's what I'll
Yeah.
say.
I love to travel too, but it's mostly for the food.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes,
Love to
food.
eat.
I'm a foodie. Anything to do with food, I'm like, yeah, I'm there. I'll be there right away.
It's like usually that's the first question I have if we're going to a city, and I'm like, oh, what kind of food they got there?
Right? No, that's an important question. I agree. That's like 80% of the enjoyment a lot of the
I
time.
know that's what I always say. Like I can put up with about anything if you feed me well.
Like I'll go on the hike, I'll do all that, but is there food on top? Is there a little restaurant on there, right?
When I first got my driver's license, my dad was a school principal, and my mother didn't work. She took care of us, so we were always struggling for money. So he picked up a paper route and he'd run that in the morning before he went to school, and
Yeah.
so I was his backup, and I never wanted to do it. So that's always what he bribed me with. He's like, buy you breakfast. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I'll be out there. It took about 4 hours at 3 o'clock in the morning to run this, and then I'm going to school, and I'm okay doing it because I was getting food.
That's the thing. It's like, listen, if there's a treat at the end of it, I'm there.
you know, it never dawned on me that, well, he was going to feed you anyway.
That's so true. So you're gonna get breakfast regardless, right?
But
It's
in
like
my head, I was like, I got to deliver those papers or no food.
breakfast, and then I have to sit through school without any breakfast. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no.
I'm very easily motivated with food.
Me too. Honestly, I have to admit, me too.
Most of us are. That's the problem.
It's amazing. It's one of the joys of life. That's what I say.
Yes. Well, I think most of us grew up around the table where you've got family,
Yeah.
and it's not just the eating, it's just the whole thing. It just brings back good memories.
It's once again, it's a family gathering.
Yeah.
It's those moments you remember. It's these moments. Sometimes in the moment you don't realize it. You're like, but this is going to be a core memory.
That's right. Well, I told you about my cousins and dragging me into everything, and I hated it at the time, but I'm so happy about it now. Growing up in that environment, and so I'm at the pawpaw stage. I'm a grandparent, and I've got five, and they range between 1 and 5. They're very young, but every Friday I get all five of them and let them spend the day together. So it's exhausting to me, but I think it's so important for them to have that cousin time, because at the end of the day, you're going to have struggles. You're going to run into those time periods where you think nobody likes me, whatever. You'll still have family. You got cousins and stuff. There's your friends. You've always got that. You can kind of go for it. So every Friday, that's Pawpaw Day.
That's awesome. That's a core memory for them that you've created.
I think it is because, they're so close and they wouldn't, I don't think they'd have had that if they didn't spend that time together. So, yeah, it's exhausting, but I wouldn't change it. It's the best.
You have your coffee ready to go. You're like, all right, everyone, come on in.
And my poor wife, she works at home. So she's there, but she's trying to work. And I've got 5 under 5-year-olds running around. I'm like, I think she's got the hard job.
And it's also creating these memories for the both of you. Like,
oh, it does. Yeah.
Right?
We wouldn't change it. That's part of the reason we stayed in West Virginia. We probably would have moved out west at some point because of her work and what I do. We can kind of work anywhere.
Yeah.
All our families here. Kids, grandkids, parents, everything. They're all here. So why would we leave?
Exactly. No, totally. Got your community.
Got our community, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been terrific. I hope you'll come back. We got to have a part 2 at some point.
I'll come back. I'll have my coffee with me. We'll throw on some Mary J. Blige, do a little shoulder shimmy. It'll be great.
I'm in.
You're perfect.
You have me a coffee.
You have like a virtual coffee. You're like, okay, virtual coffee.
I held off. I didn't drink coffee till I was fully grown. I never liked it. I finally gave in, and now I'm like everybody else. I can't live without it.
I think I love that. Like my Nespresso. Anytime I put an espresso pod in there and it's pouring,
espresso is the best.
The best. I get way too happy. Like the night before, I'm smiling in bed thinking about my coffee the next day, and I'm like, oh, it's definitely little things.
All right, you're my people. That's I do that too.
As I get older, I'm realizing the things that make me happy are changing in the sense of even my Dyson vacuum. I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing.
That's a grown-up vacuum choice right there.
Vacuum, and I'm like, this is great. And I was like, whoa, I'm getting a little too happy about this vacuum. Like it's a vacuum Millan.
Well, it's very satisfying to get rid of that dirt.
You look at your place and you're like, beautiful. And then you look at the vacuum and you're like, and I have that. That's amazing. So
yeah, I'm in.
Right?
It's the little things.
It's the little things.
Yeah. Okay, so a couple of things before I let you go. So I know we've got School Spirit to kind of keep an eye out for. Anything else that you're working on that we should keep an eye out for?
Just wrapped on Wild Cards season 2.
Ooh, and really?
A great one. Yeah, I know in the States it's going to be on the CW. In Canada it's on CBC. So I'm excited for everyone to tune into that and see it. And
when's that one coming out?
That one, so season 2 has already premiered. I'm in episode 10.
Oh, okay.
Cards. I play a role name. My character's name is Jasmine. I can't say too much about it, but I will say if you haven't watched the show is incredible. It's a great show.
What's the genre for the show? Is it drama?
Drama and comedies in there a bit.
All right. I'm gonna check it out. The next time we talk, I will have watched it.
Oh yeah, it's great, and there's a whole season for you to catch up on, so it'll be great. You can.
I can binge a season.
That's feeling. Oh my goodness! But yeah,
I'm the worst binger though. I get tired real quick.
Me too.
My binge, like if I got a 10 episode season, give me a week. I can get through it in.
Right? Exactly. No, I totally get it. I get that. It's a great show, though. The actors were incredible and the cast.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Definitely check that out. It'll be amazing. Yeah, so as of right now, Wild Card School Spirits is up next, and I'm excited to see what else.
And Mary J this weekend.
This Saturday, Family Affair. Tune in. It's going to be fun. I really am excited for everyone.
Well, and I think what we're going to do is watch all 3, and we've seen the first 2. But I think it'll flow so nice. I'm excited to it because then you got the whole story.
you have the whole story right in front of you, and you have this investment in the
Yeah.
characters, and it just makes the whole experience just more.
We're gonna do the charcuterie tray,
Oh yeah,
and have that. That's our when we're watching movies, we like to have that because then you can just snack the whole time.
gosh, that's like the once again food. I'm telling you, it's
I know.
joy. It brings joy.
I know.
Gotta get
It's
all
always
the cheeses, you know. I love a charcuterie board. I love
well, I do
cheese.
too. She'll drink red wine. I'm not a red wine drinker, but I'll drink like prosecco or something.
Prosecco's nice with some cheese.
I
It
think
works.
so too. Yeah.
I'm more of a. I'll have white wine with my little meat and
Oh yeah,
cheese.
white wine I can do. I've never she spent a lot of time in Europe, so she got used to drinking red wine, but it's too bitter for me.
Yeah,
I need
I
something
think
a little sweeter.
you have to work the palate up with red. When
Yeah.
anyone was like, "What kind of wine suggestions do you have?" Just in randomly, I'm always like, "You don't want to ask me because I love a sweet."
That me too.
And it's
But I'm
really
like that with coffee. And you're
oh,
like, I can't drink black coffee. I got to put stuff in it.
I really tried, and I can't do it.
Too
I do
bitter. But now my wife, that's all she didn't put anything in it. Black white, black coffee. And
this because I'm trying to get there.
I've been trying for a decade. And I'm like, put a little, oat milk or almond milk in it and maybe some caramel. I'm in.
Oh, the caramel! You got me at caramel. I was waiting for the sweetener. I was like, "What sweetener?"
That's my go-to. I'll put up with vanilla if that's all you have. But
Caramel or hazelnut.
well, hazelnut's actually really good in a coffee.
Really good. And it's one of those where it's like people don't talk about the hazelnut, but I'm like, don't forget about the hazelnut.
I'm going to
There's,
be getting comments on this interview, and they'll be like, "You made us hungry."
yeah, I know. I'm so sorry, guys.
I had to stop the interview to go eat.
We're talking about the different types of cheese. We love our cheese, okay?
What's your cheese?
Ooh,
Like I
I
like
love a smoked Gouda.
oh yeah, smoked Gouda is good.
Smoked Gouda, and then you have to
There's like a manchego.
Minchi, Minchet. Oh no, now I don't remember.
I now I've messed it up, but that's the one I like.
I know which one you're talking about. That one's
And my
great.
wife is she likes brie. She's more like a brie.
I love a baked brie with some honey on top. Add some chili flakes.
Ooh, now that's I could do that. That sounds
Divine. You have the sweet, but you got the salty
yeah,
spice in
yeah.
there.
That's the key. You want sweet and a little, a little kick to it.
Little kick to it, you know? So if anyone's trying to make a charcuterie board, you're welcome. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
I think we set them up.
We gave them all the answers to life.
That's it. When they're watching the movie this weekend or movies,
Yes.
everybody needs to send us pictures of their board.
Yes, send us pictures of your charcuterie board.
I'll post mine. Everybody's got to post their
mine
board.
I'll have a good charcuterie board. Look, I can't even say the word
I know.
charcuterie.
I screw it up every time.
I know every time.
I'm like, who came up with that name? They couldn't come up with something simpler.
They did it on purpose. They were like meat and cheese board, charcuterie. And it was like, I'll go with
it. It does sound classier.
It does. You know, it took me a moment there to actually pronounce it right. For a second, I would say it different every single time.
Every time.
Every time. I go along with it. I'm like, oh no, I know how to say it. It's just said it like this on purpose.
Yeah. I was just trying something. It's fine.
Listen, you gotta add some spice to it, you know? They're like, okay, Millan.
All right. So the last thing before I let you go, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram, Millan Tesfazgi, and you can follow my journey there. I'm always posting about things I'm working on and things that are coming
Instagram's
out.
the nice one.
It's good. Yeah, I just think it's nice. It's a great way to connect to people and for people to follow your journey on whatever that might be.
Yeah, agree. I know. Social media, it's got its negative side.
Absolutely.
But it's helped quite a bit too.
Positive, like the pros and cons. I think as long as you have good boundaries with social media for yourself and
well, nothing's good if you overdo it. But if you use it in moderation, it's a great way to keep up with people that you normally wouldn't keep up with, keep track of family, watch what everybody's doing.
There's a lot of positives to it.
A lot of positives.
There really
Look at us out there helping social. Good. It needed help obviously from us. I don't know how they've made it this long without us.
We made it.
You know who else I talked to that was on Sirens?
Ooh.
Sean Ahmed. He was only on an episode or two, but he was on there too. Sean Ahmed. Couldn't tell you which ones, but yeah, he was on there.
I remember season.
I knew there was one I was forgetting, but it was him.
On. I watched once this call
It'll
ends.
dawn on you because he was only on a couple.
So we definitely have crossed paths for sure.
I'm sure you have. All right, hold on one second. Millan is such a talented actress. If you haven't seen Mary J. Blige's kind of trilogy, so the first one, I'll get them mixed up. The first one I think was Strength of a Woman, followed by Real Love, and now Family Affair. She's terrific in all of it. All of the actors are really good. It's really well cast. It's well written. There's a little bit of comedy in there, which I love. There's some drama. There's some shenanigans going on. You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. Do yourself a favor. Watch all three. I think that's how we're doing it. It's on this Saturday. It's going to be terrific. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's give Millan our support. Terrific young actress. I can't wait to see what else she gets into. If you're finding us for the first time, so thrilled that you're here. Definitely do not take that for granted. We're very blessed. We've been named to a few top 100 podcast lists. I can't believe it. My belief, though, is that it's not me. It's these wonderful guests that we're able to get on the show, and that is 100% due to our fans. So thank you so much. If you're finding us for the first time, love to have your support. Easy to do. It's free. Our website is meistercon.com. You can find almost 900 episodes, audio and video versions. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, covering a convention, anything we have going on, be on the website, meistercon.com. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. If you go there, please subscribe. It's free. Really does help us out. Thank you guys so much. Till next time. Bye, everybody.